How's it going, everyone? My name is True Wonder Dog, and Shang Tsung got a bunch of buffs in the recent update, and a vast majority of those improvements went into his second variation, Spellmaster, which I think is a good thing because that was by far the least used variation, and a lot of people, myself included, said why bother, why even pick that variation, so now it's a lot better, and thank goodness for that. And thankfully some other buffs also benefited the other variations as well, so without any further ado, let's break down all of these changes step by step. So for starters, his reserved pain crushing blow now brings the opponent much closer. Look at that. You no longer have to dash. They're brought right to you. And in fact, in story mode, I didn't know that, so I dashed forward and the opponent crossed me up. So make sure not to move. You can just stand right there and get your combo going. And thankfully, this means a lot of combos have become much easier. So this, for example, super easy now. And then if you want to spin the bar and you're in Spellmaster, and you're getting almost 30%. Now there is one more combo you can do, but it's a bit tough from mid-screen. It involves a micro dash and then uppercut, and then a down one into his crashing flames. However, it's not all that practical from mid-screen. However, in the corner is where this technique really shines. You no longer need to dash, you can just uppercut, and it's not that tough for the game to give it to you as early as possible. And after that, you can do a down one into the crashing flames, or even better, if your timing is perfect, you can do standing 3 into crashing flames, which will give you almost 35% damage for just one bar. In summary, this crushing blow is just that much easier to combo after, especially in the lesser played variations like Spellmaster. And one more benefit of the opponent being brought closer is that if they go for a breakaway, it's actually much easier to punish them for doing that. So if you read the breakaway, you can just say no and then get your combo started, and the damage is pretty crazy for just one bar. Now unfortunately, his armor breaking move is only available in this variation, but we'll talk about that more a bit later. So one tiny nerf that Shang Tsung actually got is that now spiritual eruption is only plus 13 on hit instead of plus 16. So it's a bit weaker, but even so, you can still do this move, which is his back forward 1, and then cancel it, and then do this string into his crashing flames, and still get some pretty decent damage. So it's still possible to combo after it, especially in the Spellmaster variation, but it's not as good on hit as it once was. However, from here on out, it's pretty much only buffs, so Skull Collapse is now plus 9 on hit instead of plus 6. So I'm not sure why you would really need that, except maybe you can dash forward and go for a throw and all those shenanigans. Maybe you cancel, go forward, go for some mix-ups. Maybe it's a bit tougher for the opponent to stop your mix-ups now on hit as a result of this change, so that's just kind of nice. It's plus 9 instead of plus 6. And then we have Shapeshifter, so this is now plus 13 on hit instead of plus 5, so almost 3 times better on hit. And what this means is better combos, especially in the Spellmaster variation. These combos involve canceling his Screaming Soul, which isn't the easiest thing to do, but with some practice, it's not that tough either. And once you master these combos, you get unbreakable damage since you never launch the opponent. So even though the damage might not seem that great at first, keep in mind the opponent has no way of escaping it. It's all guaranteed damage. And next up, both Sternum Breaker and Throat Kick are better on hit. Sternum Breaker is plus 11, and Throat Kick is now plus 20. And what this pretty much means is better footsies, because before Shang Tsung had to rely on moves that were pretty darn slow on startup, like his forward 2. That was a great whiff punish, but it was very slow. Now he has Throat Kick, which the range isn't quite as good, but it's much faster. And the same goes for Sternum Breaker. They're very far-reaching moves that are very fast on startup, and they can both be special canceled for full combos. So now that both of these normals are better on hit, it just means much better footsies and space control for Shang Tsung. And one more very nice change is that Shang Tsung now recovers much faster after changing back from his Soul Steal. So if I'm Devora right now and I'm mid-combo or you block a string and I revert back, I can now block in just 3 frames instead of 7, so twice as fast, and therefore it's much tougher for the opponent to react to and punish. And I honestly do adore this change because I think one of the coolest things about Shang Tsung is transforming into your opponent and then doing combos better than they do because your damage actually increases. But even so, pretty much no one used Soul Steal, especially at high level, because changing back just meant you were dead. It was a guaranteed combo for the opponent most of the time. And now that's no longer the case. Once again, you recover much faster. You can block in just 3 frames. In fact, this change is also responsible for Shang Tsung's Touch of Death combo, which isn't practical in a real match, but still really cool. So if you want to see that fun and flashy combo, please check out Ketchup and Mustard's channel. They do a great job showing it off. It can only be done against Johnny Cage, and it's not very practical at all, but it's still awesome that it's possible. And from here on out, every change has to do with his Spellmaster variation. Once again, I think NetherRealm wants to make this variation a lot more popular, so it got a lot of of love. So for starters, Scatter Soul got a bunch of changes. It's a pretty godlike move now, so let me read this out for you. So it's 25 frames on startup instead of 29. It recovers 1 frame faster on hit and miss. It has 4 more recovery frames on block, making it a bit safer, and on top of all of that, it takes less time to charge the different levels. So for anyone who's not aware, you can hold this move down and get different levels, and then when you detonate it, you get more damage based on your level. And now those levels charge much faster, so it's just that much more practical. And as we mentioned earlier, Scatter Souls also breaks armor, so this beats fatal blows, and more importantly, if the opponent goes for a breakaway, they're re-standed for a full combo. So if your opponent loves to do breakaway, they're gonna eat some really damaging combos with Shang Tsung, which is nice because normally his combos aren't that damaging. But if you're in the Spellmaster variation and the opponent goes for breakaways, you're getting some easy 40% damage combos for just 1 bar. And in fact, if your opponent breaks away in the corner and you catch them with this, you actually have more than enough time to do it again and then amplify, and the amplified version already extends combos, so you can basically just do it twice and get that much more damage. So in other words, in the corner, you're getting unbreakable 50% damage if you land some of these crushing blows, which is absolutely insane to think about, but just keep in mind now, if you're fighting Spellmaster Shang Tsung and you're in the corner, don't you dare go for a breakaway. It's gonna do more harm than good. And the changes do not stop there, so now you can actually press down twice to cancel this move, and it actually retains whatever level it is. So if you charge it and then stop, and then charge it again and then stop, you're already at level 3 now at 2 different charge points, and then boom, let it rip. And make no mistake, level 4 of this thing can really hurt, especially when used to counter the opponent's breakaway, because they're still re-standed, but now it does even more damage because you're at level 4. And on top of better damage, it's also better on block when you charge it as well. So check this out, I'm gonna do level 4 on block. Look at all that pushback, and it's 0, so I've reset the neutral, and even level 3 is much better on block as well. All this pushback and only -5, you're not punishing me, I'm way too far away, and -5 isn't punishable anyway. So on top of more damage, Scatter Souls is also better on block when you charge it as well. And then last but not least for Shang Tsung, when you cancel Screaming Soul, it can actually extend combos now. The trade-off is you can't do it more than once in the same combo, but even so, it only costs defensive bar and not offensive bar, which means you could potentially spend both of your offensive bars in the same combo. So put simply, Screaming Soul offers a lot of new combo possibilities, and they're not even tough to do, and once again they're unbreakable because you don't launch the opponent. And now that so many of Shang Tsung's attacks are now more plus on hit, that just means even more combos, especially in the Spellmaster variation. And that's about it for all of Shang Tsung's changes, everybody. Pretty much everything else was a bug fix, which means it's things that pretty much never happen. But overall, I think these changes are pretty fantastic. A lot of them were universal, and then after that, a bunch of them were for his least played variation. And honestly, since Spellmaster has his anti-breakaway move, I think you'll see a lot more players using it, especially at the high level. Because once you beat that breakaway, you're getting the most damaging combos in the game, and even without that option, you're still getting some high damage combos that the opponent can't escape from. So honestly, Spellmaster may end up being the most popular variation for Shang Tsung. But please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and then while you're down there, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.